Namaskaram. We welcome you for this webinar, Shiva, the Ultimate Outlaw. Breaking the laws of physical is a spiritual process. In this sense, we are all outlaws, and Shiva is the ultimate outlaw. You cannot worship Shiva, but you maybe join the gang. This is what Sadhguru says about Shiva, the ultimate outlaw. So this session, we will be exploring various dimensions and possibilities that Shiva has offered. Before going into the session, it will be good if we can prepare ourselves so that we will be totally involved in the session for the next 1 hour. So if you are watching this webinar from a mobile phone, please ensure you keep the mobile phone in do not disturb mode so that the mobile phone calls will not disturb you. And it will be good if you can wear headphones so that the audio will be clear. During the session, if you have any issues with the audio or the video or the webinar, you can feel free to post it on the comments. The volunteers will be assisting you to come back to the webinars. And if you are using a laptop, once again, you can put it in the full resolution mode and you can use headphones for clear audio and video clarity. And it'll be good if you don't use your mobile phone during the session. And also, if you have any pets around or any children who can cause a little disturbance, it'll be good if you can ensure that everything is set for you for the next 1 hour. So Shiva, the ultimate outlaw. So when we say Shiva, is such an impossible character. There are many things that we can say about Shiva. If you can accept Shiva, then you can accept everything in this world. This is a possibility for us, for one to grow within himself. So when we say Shiva, there are two dimensions that we refer to. The word Shiva means that which is not. In other ways, Shiva is also referred to the Adi Yogi, the first yogi. So today, the modern science is proving that everything in this existence came from nothing, and the fundamental is nothingness. That is what we refer to as Shiva here. We also refer Shiva to the first yogi, the Adi Yogi, who exploded with this profoundness of the yogic science. Now, in this session, we will have this opportunity to explore the various dimensions that Shiva has offered. Who is Shiva? Is Shiva a god? Is he a yogi? Like this, we have lots and lots of questions. These questions are so profound that it's very difficult for us to find these answers. Now here we will look into a video where Sadhguru explores who is Shiva. Is he a god? Is he a yogi? Now we will watch the video.
Shiva being the ultimate outlaw, you must understand what is outlaw. Many of you have suffered the in-laws. I hope you won't meet too many outlaws. But when we say the ultimate outlaw, you must understand all laws are of some meaning only in the physical sphere of life. See, suppose you did not have a body. I want you to just imagine yourself, you don't have a body. What law do you have to follow? You can go wherever you want, you can do whatever you want, yes? Only because you have a body, where to go, where not to go, what to do, what not to do. Only in the physical realm, the laws have a meaning. One who has transcended the physical, he has no laws. So he's the outlaw. He's out of all laws. This is what spiritual process means. Within yourself, you're out of all laws because once you transcend your physical nature, none of the laws bind you. In the society, yes, but within yourself, no, because you're an outlaw because you're out of the physical nature. So in that context, he is the ultimate outlaw. And Mahashivratri is his day. The significance of the day is that on that day, there is a phenomenal upsurge of energy within the human system. This is why on that night you are not supposed to sleep, you must keep your spine vertical so that you make use of this natural upsurge within you. So on that night there's a huge festival here. This year, this is going to be a mega festival because we have crossed the 21-year cycle. This is a new cycle. And it is going to be a phenomenal event. It's an incredible night and we will have many things happening on that night. Our teams are working to make this into a major possibility for every human being. And we will also make it happen across the country and in many parts of the world, in various cities, having video feeds and stuff, though there is a time difference in the other countries. And as a precursor to this, in a way, not really a precursor, but this is a special event which happens only once, that is, we don't repeat this. This will happen in December. Till now we have done 3 special events like this, where they are production quality. Entire ashram is done up for this purpose, not like other programs which are repeated, this is only one-time programs. We did Vaibhav Shiva, which was about how Shiva taught yoga. Then we did 3 years later Leela. This is about how Krishna taught yoga. Then about 3 years ago we did Mahabharata, which is the grandest story that you can imagine. It's a story inside a story inside a story. It is the most phenomenal story, it's the longest story on the planet. So, an 8-day event happened like this. Hundreds of hours of videos, they're still editing, not released after 3 years. So this year, in the month of December, between 22nd and 26th, we will have an event which is about the devotees of Shiva. We have not… There are different types of cultures which have evolved out of devotion for Shiva. They are in different geographical locations in the country largely, and they have their own practices, they have their own traditions, cultures, their own flavor, their own poetry, their own music. So this will be an exquisite event of music, art, poetry, and of course the spiritual fundamental. So this will be about the devotees of Shiva. This will be a limited number of people, we can't have a crowd like this but others can hang out later. Okay, we'll make it available to you in some way. So this will be a 5-day event in the month of December, starting on the winter solstice, which is 22nd of December, 21st of December. It's an event to look forward to because it's a one-time event, we will not repeat those events again. Those of you who can afford to be there in terms of time and whatever else, please make sure you're there. I'm excited.
Yeah, we are also very excited to actually welcome this Mahashivratri. So, this Mahashivratri is a day where there is a certain atmosphere where the planetary position supports the spiritual upsurge within a human being. Now, there is always a question about Shiva, like, is Shiva an alien? Because if you see for others like Ram, Krishna, everyone has a birth, has a death, everything they know, their whole life has been totally described. But when we talk about Shiva, we do not know about his birth, about his childhood, and about his life also. Like we know certain segments where Shiva has come and has done certain things, but as such, we do not know the whole life of Shiva. This actually brings up with the question: is Shiva an alien? Is there some intelligence from outside is coming and is guiding us? These are the doubts that Sadhguru is exploring now. Let's watch it.
So all the enlightened people who've been,
How many did you meet?
like I've heard about many, like say Krishna or Muhammad or Ram or Christ, Buddha, all the enlightened people who've been on this planet, there is some sort of mention of their birth or death. But when it comes to Shiva, like you say, and I've read that he was self-created, and I often ask you this question: that did he disappear into thin air, and apparently something like that happened. He couldn't even have biological children with any of the women he was married to. Also, he.
At least you can't blame him for the population.
Sadhguru, I'm coming to something very important. There is a theory.
I thought population was very important
No.
too.
There is a theory that Shiva is alien. My favorite director, Christopher Nolan, made this film, Interstellar, which is one of my favorite films, where they are constantly referring to certain beings as they. They are communicating, they are talking to us, they are doing this, but they never really clarified who they were. Like, were they aliens, were they gods, who they were? And Sadhguru, like this, I think I felt it in, like when any creative idea comes to me, it has absolutely no intellectual grounds where I can go back and track it down. It's literally like a mail dropped in my head. It seems like it's from an outside space.
This is not a confession.
I know it's a confession, but Sadhguru, is it that we are being operated by an external, sort of outside beings? Is it that?
Well, people who have no faith in human intelligence are looking up that intelligence will come from somewhere else. What we need to understand is, see, there are certain things which are very significant things in this country which unfortunately this present generation has completely forgotten, or very few people are reminded, and the rest of the world, some places they recognize, rest of the places it's not there. What the thing is just this: here we consider things like this. For example, in yoga, we call your spine the center of the universe. We call it Merudanda. That means it's the axis of the universe. What is a universe? Please understand this. Today scientists are admitting it is an endless universe. Forever we've been saying it's an ever-expanding universe. So we said your spine is the axis of the universe. That sounds ridiculous. Even without putting any load, most people's backs are hurting badly. They can't even walk or run or do anything. If this becomes the axis of the universe, what will happen? Why we are saying this is, see, you know there is a universe or you think there is a universe only by your experience, isn't it so? If you did not experience, if you could not see this, if you could not see like this and feel like this, you wouldn't know there is a universe. Only because of your experience there is a universe. And the center where your experience is being transmitted is through your spine. If you cut a few wires in your spine, you will have no experience even of the body, forget about the universe. So because your ability to experience the universe is rooted and centered in your spine, we are calling your spine as the axis of the universe. Suppose this hall, see now we know the boundaries of this hall. Now we can debate whether this is the center of this hall or that is the center of this hall. Suppose there are no boundaries to this hall. How would you decide which is the center of this hall? Where you are is the center of the hall, isn't it? From this basis, we developed a whole possibility for a human being, how not just to believe these things, but to make it into your living experience. It is from this the word yoga came, that the inclusiveness happens not because I tell you, oh, I love you, you love me and all this stuff. Inclusiveness happens simply because you obliterate the boundaries of your individuality. Not because I love you, you love me, I hug you, you hug me, so because we are inclusive, no. All that will last for some time. Tomorrow if they do something that you don't like, it'll be finished. But you obliterate the boundaries of your individual nature, including your body, that you know how to sit here without being identified with the boundaries of who you are. Your physical structure, your mental structure, your emotional structure has a boundary. It may be large or small. No, I'm not talking about the body being large. It may be large or small, but it has a boundary. But there are dimensions which have no boundary. What doesn't have a boundary is non-physical in nature. So our focus has always been on that dimension, which is non-physical. That is why Shiva became the most important thing, because Shiva means that which is not, that which is non-physical. Now is he the yogi that we're talking about, is he a human being, did he come from somewhere else? See, there are things, as you said, there is no parentage. When you talk about Shiva, there is no parentage, there is no place of birth, nobody saw him as a young boy to grow up. All the time when we saw him, he was about the same age. And we don't know where he died, such a significant human being. Even in those times, if he died somewhere, they should have built a temple, they should have built some kind of a monument for him. Nothing like that happened. So there is no birth, there is no death, there is no parentage, there is no siblings, there is no anything to prove that he was here. Does it mean to say we can assume he came from somewhere? Not necessarily. But in many of the… if you look at the lore, it's very common to refer to Shiva as Yaksha Swarupa. This means, Yakshas means always those kind of beings which are not human, but who supposed to have existed in the natural environment in this planet, in the forests and other things. Whatever we were referring to, some kind of beings or creatures or whatever you want to call them, who are not human in nature. So many times in the lore, you will see any number of songs and other things talking about Shiva as a Yaksha Swarupa. So there are many things which point, but there is no specific proof that he came from elsewhere.
Now the next question comes. Is Shiva territorial or is universal? When we say Shiva, Sadhguru says, the word Shiva means that which is not. Something which is not physical can be anywhere, isn't it? It can be here in India, it can be in America, it can be anywhere on the earth or in the universe for that matter. So now, Sadhguru explains about this dimensionless existence, and he connects it with modern science about what and how Shiva is. Now we will watch a video where Sadhguru explores this dimension.
Is Lord Shiva is territorial or the universal? That still question lies on me.
The word Shiva, Shiva means that which is not. That which is physical creation. That which is not is that which is not physical. That which is not, where can it be? In India or America? Or on this planet or in another galaxy, where can it be? It's everywhere. So, there is a dimensionless existence. So we called it appropriately Shiva, that means that which is not. Today modern scientists are saying that nearly 99% of the cosmos is empty. But not that there is nothing, there is something, but it is not something. Because our idea of something is, we should be able to perceive through five senses. See, right now what you can see and what you cannot see is this. You can see my hand because it is stopping light. Anything that is not stopping light, you don't see, isn't it? Right now there is air here which you're breathing, which is most vital for your existence, but you don't see it. You don't see the air unless you live in Delhi. Now, if you look up in the sky, you see the stars. But stars are a small happening. The real thing is the vast emptiness. So this we refer to as Shiva, that which is not. Today modern scientists are saying this vast space has a tremendous amount of energy, but it is not any of the energies that are measurable by us, like electromagnetic waves or weak nuclear energy or strong nuclear energy or electrical systems or microwaves, none of these things. It is none of the measurable energies. But there is no denying it is tremendously powerful. So we said,
So this is…
Shiva means that which is not. And we said it is in the lap of Shiva that creation happens. At the same time, we called Adi Yogi also the Shiva, because he perceived that which is not. You are who you are, people call you a director, a film producer, why? Because you perceived something. If you did not perceive that, they would not recognize you as that. So we recognized Adi Yogi as Shiva because he perceived that which is not. Because he perceived that, we called him also Shiva. So we will call the ultimate reality as Shiva, the one who realized that, the Adi Yogi, as Shiva. One who did not realize that but has the possibility, we'll call him Shiva. We'll call the dog also Shiva because he is also made of the same stuff, but he cannot know. But we want him to hear that sound. So every time we call him Shiva, 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 we hope that he will evolve one day.
Yeah, in this culture, there's always this practice where we refer everything as Shiva. As you know, the nothingness is the foundation, the basis of this existence. That which we say as Shiva is there everywhere. So that's why in this culture, we used to refer everything as Shiva. We bow down and look the fundament of creation in them, the source of creation in them. Now looking at the other aspect, Shiva is a yogi. As Sadhguru was saying, he has expounded so much about the yogic dimensions to perceive the dimension which is beyond the physical. But again, there are talks where whether Shiva smoked weed. If Shiva smokes weed, why can't I? This is the question that comes up. Now, the next video, Sadhguru explores. If Shiva himself used weed, whether he really used it, and what are the dynamics when you consume marijuana? How does it affect the brain? What happens within ourselves? He also…
If you look at me, you would think I'm smoking, right? Just look at me. It's many times happened to me. People who are smoking these things in Himalayas and other place, they always invite me because when they look at me, they think I must be a smoker. We need to understand this. Whatever chemicals we put into the system, either in the form of this or that, whichever way, essentially it can only ignite something within us. It cannot by itself cause too much to us. Only those kind of things which will put you to sleep totally, like an anesthetic, they work in a different way. They completely knock you down. But all the others which have some sense of experience, they're only stimulating something within you. Now the question is, are you self-start or push-start? If you know how to stimulate yourself, you can sit here in great pleasure. Otherwise, you have to put something from outside. Shiva was not such a cripple that he needed chemicals from outside. He was stoned, no question about that. But by what is another matter. He is not using substance, he is the substance. So, I can make that happen for you. If you can be with me in a certain way, I can have you all stoned out. Because the substance is not outside, the substance is within. So, those who want to emulate Shiva, first they must sit unmoving for 3 months. And then maybe they can smoke also. This happened. Adi Shankara was walking. He's a brisk walker he must have been, because at the age of 32 he left. Before that, from the age of 12 to 32, in those 20 years, he crisscrossed India a few times, north from Kerala right up to Badrinath and back and east, west, everything. The man must have been a really brisk walker. To do so much walking in a short span of life, because in between he produced thousands of pages of literature. He must sit somewhere to write all this. So he was walking briskly, behind him a bunch of his disciples trotting. Then he saw outside a village, those days in India, even just about 25–30 years ago, these drink shops, the country drink, usually is arak or toddy, they were only outside the village, never it was brought into the village. Now it's in the village, next to your house, in front of your child's school, they're selling alcohol, that's different. Those days, always it's outside the town. So there a few people will gather and they're drinking. Shankara looked at them in their inebriated condition. They looked at him, he looked straight and upright. Drunkards always think they're having the best time, unfortunately. They always think they're having the best time of their life and everybody else is missing it. So they made some comments. So without a word, Shankara walked into the shop. There was a pot full of arak. He just took it and drank it and kept it there and walked. So the disciples saw their guru drank up a whole pot full of arak. Then he started walking briskly. Behind him they're trotting, among themselves discussion. When our guru can drink, why can't we drink? They just needed an excuse. So, they were discussing this and he knows what's happening. So he came to the next village, they're walking through. There was a blacksmith working with some molten iron. He just went, picked up that thing and drank it and walked on. They knew this they don't want to drink. So, even if Shiva smoked, I don't think he did. He was stoned for sure. Not with something as petty as some weed. For sure he's stoned, no question, always. Even if he did smoke, can you do everything else that he does, I'm asking? Qualification is 3 months, if you can sit unmoving, I will provide you the substance. So, people thinking by smoking marijuana and feeling little smoked out, all that's happening is you're getting little hazy in your head. If getting hazy is spirituality, then I don't want to be spiritual. For me, the biggest thing is this crystal clear way of living. Getting hazy is not life, that happens in death. Yes, life will be hazy at that time. When you're sick and dying, life will be hazy. When you're alive, clarity is the most important thing, and clarity can be intoxicating. When you do something that is super alert, you will find that there is an intoxication in that. Why do you think all these people jumping off mountains, jumping off airplanes, doing incredibly risky things is because in being super alert, there's another kind of intoxication. But they're doing it by doing so many physical things. If you could sit here and do it, then I would say an element of Shiva has come to you. If you can simply sit here and you're super alert, so alert that you're stoned, that is a way to get stoned. Not smoking weeds. Leave the weeds for the cows. Okay, human beings can do better things. And today the entire world is talking about it because they haven't found any other better way. There is substantial research on this. They're saying 8-point drop in one's IQ will happen. You don't have to go to any research. Those who are generally on this smoke, if you see them, they're acting peaceful, but you don't give them their substance for 2 days, you will see how cranky they become. Yes, every day you give the dose, they're nice, peaceful. You will be peaceful when you're hazy. But that peace is of no value. And one thing is, don't give them the substance for 3 days, you will see they will explode. They will not be peaceful if you take away the substance. Today, of course, it's become legal in many states in America. Many big corporates are getting into it. It is just that because you don't know how to handle your brain, which is not your making. Previous generations have evolved and come to this place and you don't know how to handle this, you want to smoke it down a little bit so that it feels peaceful. That's not the answer. If you take away the substance for some time, then you will see your peace will fly. There's nothing spiritual about any chemical. If you have not found any better use for your brain except freaking, marijuana will do good things. At least you don't bother anybody, you smoked out and you simply sit somewhere. If you found better use for your brains, that your brain can do something worthwhile, something creative, something useful, then that's not the way to go.
Of the many names that Shiva is referred to, Soma is one of the important names. Soma literally means intoxication. If there is no intoxication, you will never be mad enough to jump into the ultimate void, which is only liberation. So, Soma or Somasundara is one of prominent names of Shiva. Always inebriated, but fully alert. So, the story goes like this. Shiva was sitting near Kailash, in a completely inebriated state. The news spread all over India that there is a man sitting, so magnificent a man, that slowly year after year, people started making the pilgrimage. There was A girl who was a princess in the Himalayan kingdom. Her name was Parvati. And when she heard this, she said, I want to go and see him. The moment she set her eyes upon him, she just so completely overwhelmed by him. She said, if I marry only this man. Then somebody else played a conspiracy and he decided to get married. A big wedding was organized. Anybody who is anybody is there. The bride is all decked up, everybody is waiting for the groom to come. And the groom came. Shiva walked in, ash-smeared, dreadlocked, fully inebriated. And all his friends, these goblins and demented beings, making all kinds of noises. Parvati's mother Meena saw this man and his friends, and when she thought that her daughter is going to marry this man, she just fainted and fell. Then they revived her and she was completely heartbroken. How can I give my daughter to this man? He's wild. He's completely uncivilized. He's not even a man, he's something else. So Parvati went and begged Shiva, for me, whichever way you are, for some reason you put on a hideous form and come, this is also okay with me. But for my mother's sake, just show a better form. Then he said, okay. And then he turned into a very graceful and beautiful form, which was referred to as Soma Sundara, drunk but beautiful, completely inebriated, eyeballs up, but he became utterly beautiful. Then Meena revived and looked at this magnificent man standing there, and she said, I would like to give my daughter to this man, not to that one. So, inebriation, intoxication is an essential quality of meditativeness. If that's not there, if you're not drunk, how can you just sit? You do the most torturous thing, simply sitting there like this, trying to concentrate on something. So that's his essential quality. So he carried the moon. That's a symbolism, that he is always drunk upon himself, no substances.
So when we said Shiva constantly drank Somarasa, he was not an alcoholic. He just imbibed the moonbeams which he carried always in his hair and constantly drunk. This blissful state is not a goal by itself. These blissful states eliminate the fear of suffering. Only when the fear of suffering is gone, only when this idea, what will happen to me, is completely eliminated from you, you would dare to explore life. Otherwise, you only want to protect it. Whether a career or a business, it's all about security. Marriage is about security. Everything is about security. As long as the fear of suffering is constantly playing its role, now you will not dare to really go into deeper dimensions of life. Only if you're drunk like this, but fully alert. Now, there is no fear of suffering, you're willing to go anywhere.
Yes, of course, to be totally inebriated and at the same time fully alert, such a blessing that if one can attain to this state, then there is no sense of suffering. As Sadhguru was saying, whatever we're doing in our lives, if we can bring the sense of experience, blissfulness, then it's very natural for us to take the next step and grow within. When we say Shiva, we are talking about that dimension, that person, where it's all encompassing. All that dimensions in this existence is put together. Shiva embodies contradictory qualities that defy explanation. you cannot logically explain, but he has taken up all those dimensions. Now, in the next video, we'll see when Sadhguru explains, if you can embrace Shiva, if you can accept him, then you can accept the whole existence. Sadhguru also explores where Shiva illustrates the dimension of dispassion. You're totally dispassionate, but that is also a possibility for fulfillment. Now we will watch this video.
When we say Shiva, if you look at his life process, he went through everything that any human being would go through. He is many things at the same time. He is the most beautiful, he is the ugliest, he is a great ascetic, he is a family person, he is the most disciplined, he is a drunkard, he is a dancer, he is absolutely still. Gods worship him, demons worship him, all kinds of creatures in the world worship him. Whatever we say about Shiva, you must understand, the very opposite is also the truth. He is the Bhairava, the most fearsome, one who is of quick temper and immense violence. He is also the most compassionate. He is the Sundaramurti, the seducer, a gallant lover and a compassionate, handsome and romantic being. He is also the Tandava Murti, one whose dance would destroy the very process of creation. At the same time, he is Achaleshwara, absolute stillness, one who does not know any moment. Shiva is a yogi who should not be named. To name is to limit and curtail. At the same time, the many names of his, the sum total of all these names is an absolute representation of the whole universe, all its complexities, a representation of all the unfathomable mysteries of the existence. If you can accept this man, who is a complex formation of every quality that you can find on this planet, if you can accept him, you have crossed life itself. The whole idea is to destroy your logical mind so that you open up to a different dimension of life altogether. There was a certain yogi who practiced very severe austerities from normal food. After a while, he shifted just to fruit diet and then gave up the fruits and just went on leaf and root diet and lived a very pious life. On a certain day, when he was cutting grass in the forest to make a thatch or to make a roof for his little hut in which he lived, accidentally he chopped off his own finger. When he chopped off his finger, to his amazement, he saw, instead of blood coming out of his severed finger, the sap of a plant or a flower was coming out of his finger. Then he felt very satisfied that his austerities, his sadhana has made him so pure that instead of bleeding, he is oozing the sap of a plant. It brought him much pride, and this vanity took over and he started thinking, I am the purest of the yogis, because now he's turned into a vegetable. Shiva noticed this yogi of great accomplishment falling prey to such simple vanity.
So Shiva took on the form of a yogi and came this way. And he saw a great smile of satisfaction on the yogi's face and inquired, "What is this big smile about? What are you so self-satisfied about?" The yogi said, "Don't you know, the news has spread everywhere already that I am the purest yogi in the world, because look at my finger, I don't bleed anymore. The sap of a plant or a flower or a fruit is coming out of me. I have become very pure, don't you know?" Then Shiva said, "Animals eat leaves and roots and make blood and flesh out of it. All of it, when it is burnt, turns into ashes. So there is nothing to be very proud of oozing plant sap. That which was a plant becomes an animal. That which is a man or an animal or a plant ultimately becomes ash. Look at me," he said, and chopped off his own finger. And ash came out of his body, and every pore in his body started oozing this ash, displaying that Shiva, a yogi, a true yogi, constantly lives death as he lives life. Only that one who is constantly aware of the mortal nature of his existence, who constantly knows that the flesh and blood that he carries is the ashes of the planet. Only that one is truly pure. It is because of this that Shiva is always depicted as ash smeared. He did not smear ashes upon himself. He oozed ash out of every pore of his body, displaying the ultimate dispassion that he is.
The fundamental tool is this, that there is a certain dispassion. Passion for everybody, dispassion for myself. If this one thing arises in your life, you will see better everything. If you see everything better, if you see the floor that you're walking on better, will you be more balanced? If you're more balanced, if you're really balanced, can you do many more things? Can you dance a little more? That's about it. So everything that you do, if it's passionate, within you, the flower of dispassion will flower because you will see dispassion is the greatest flower.
As you know, physical nature has set a limitation on all lives that needs to happen on this planet. But the fundamental nature within a human being is to go beyond all these physical laws. When we say spirituality, it is actually about breaking these physical dimensions and experiencing something that is beyond the physical. In that sense, Shiva is the ultimate outlaw. So you can't worship him, you can only join the gang. If you wish to join the gang, there is no better time other than being the night of Mahashivaratri. That's when the planetary puts in such a condition which supports natural upsurge of energy within a human being. This is the night where many yogis, siddhas took this possibility to dissolve themselves and become one with the cosmos. This is that night where every human being can very easily support themselves to move on to the next dimension within themselves. There's a natural upsurge within themselves. A night-long festival was established in our traditions. The possibility to remain awake and to be still and with spine erect. So this Mahashivaratri is a night of wakefulness and awakening. In Isha, we celebrate this Mahashivratri in a very exuberant manner with explosive guided meditations, dance, music, night-long satsang with Sadhguru, with the musical performance with eminent artists. This is a dimension, this is a night to bask in the grace of Shiva. Now we'll watch how this Shivratri happens, Mahashivratri happens at Isha Center.
Welcome to Mahashivratri, the great night of Shiva. On this sacred night, if you maintain wakefulness and some sense of awareness, it shall bring tremendous well-being to your life.
This Mahashivratri, receive Rudraksh Diksha, a specially energized Rudraksh bead, and is also delivered free to your home.
Today is the most magnificent night of my life.
This is not just a night of wakefulness. This must become a night of awakening for every one of you.
Join the celebrations live on March 11th on Sadhguru's YouTube and Facebook channels.
Mahashivratri is the most exuberant event that happens at the Isha Center. Night-long festival, fully vibrant with lots of music, dance and guided meditation, explosive meditation with Sadhgurus and night-long satsang with Sadhguru as well. So this is a possibility for us to have this opportunity where there is natural upsurge within ourselves, within a human being, which supports in our spiritual and inner growth. We welcome you all for the Mahashivratri 2021 on March 11th at the Shiva Center. Now there are many ways to join. One thing is you're always welcome to come and join in person. There's a possibility. We have a limited option where you can register yourself and come and participate in the event, the night of Mahashivratri. So for this, you have to register for the seating passes, Mahashivratri seating passes online. The volunteers will be putting the details in the description and the comments. So for this, you can register and you can come and participate live. You can be there and you can go through everything. Physically, you can be present. With this COVID restrictions, there's a limited number of seats available, but definitely the opportunity is there for everyone. Also, you can join this Mahashivratri online through our website. So, and you can participate in all the processes, meditations and chants. That will also be very supportive for you for inner growth. For this, Sadhguru has offered this Rudraksh Diksha, where you can register for receiving a Rudraksh as a prasadam after Mahashivratri, which is a symbol of our inner growth, which is an inspiration which helps us in a certain way to focus towards the spiritual dimension in one's life. Also, there is a 3-day program which is known as Grace of Yoga, which will help us to understand dynamics of these 5 elements within oneself, what are the building blocks of a human being, and how to purify and take it to the next level in our lives. So this Grace of Yoga is also offered as an online program. It's a 3-day program. We will have Sadhguru session as well, and also as an opportunity to participate in the Panchabhuta Kriya on the Mahashivratri day in the presence of Sadhguru's guidance. So for Grace of Yoga also, the registrations are still open. The registration will be closing on March 4th. So if you're interested and if you wish, you can also register for Grace of Yoga. Now, likewise, there are many opportunities to be part of Mahashivratri. So we welcome you all to come and experience this night with the grace of Adiyogi Shiva. Now, if you have any questions or doubts regarding your participation, how to attend, you can always post it in the comments box. We will be guiding you with your questions. There is also Mahashivratri Sadhana, which is a preparation to be part of Mahashivratri. So that is a 40-day, 21-day, 14-day, 7-day and 3-day sadhana are also available. So if you wish, you can also take up the sadhana. So this year, the Mahashivratri is happening on March the 11th from night 6 p.m. till morning 6 a.m. Sadhguru will be there throughout the event. He'll be conducting satsangs, explosive meditations, and we'll also having music, dance and other events which will ensure that we are always awake and vibrant and will not miss it. Will not miss the possibility that the nature is offering. So if there's any question, you can definitely post it in the comment section and we'll be glad to answer them. So one thing is, as you know, because of COVID restrictions, there are certain important guidelines that we need to ensure. As you know, that this pandemic has put the world into a challenging situation for the last 1 year. We have to take extreme precaution that we don't get the virus nor we spread it, especially when you come for events of such large magnitude and scale. So as a precaution, it is recommended that you take a COVID test when you come for the event that ensure that you are not the carrier. And also it's important that you wear mask all times and maintain social distancing, minimum 6 feet wherever you may be. And also it is recommended that the age group is better from 10 years and above and 65 years and below, so that you have this immune where you can resist even if in case you are exposed to the virus. So it'll be, so for those who are above 65 years, you can actually participate online. You can watch it from the website, internet, and you can participate in all the events as well. But again, for those who have the opportunity, who have that possibility to come, you are always welcome to come and participate in Mahashivratri. As I already said, we have a limited seats that we opened up for this event. So this is an opportunity and this is the right time for you to register and come. Though we may not be able to provide stay, you can come for the event and you can participate. That possibility is there. There's a possibility for you to be in the live presence of Sadhguru. So if you wish to register, you can go to mahashivratri.org and there is a section about participate in person. You can click and you can register yourself for that. Yes.
Can you please give me the guidelines how to do the Shivaratri sadhana?
Okay. So Mahashivratri sadhana is a sadhana's preparation to experience Mahashivratri in the best possible way. So we have 40-day sadhana, 21-day sadhana, 14-day sadhana, 7-day sadhana, 3-day sadhana. So there are certain guidelines, there are certain instructions that Sadhguru has given. So the volunteers will be posting about the guidelines about how to participate in Mahashivratri sadhana in the comments box. You can refer to the guidelines. So to put it in a brief thing, during the sadhana, we will be learning and doing a practice called Shiva Namaskar. We will be doing the Shiva Namaskar for 11 times. This is very, very powerful practice to open up our physical dimensions. And also we will be having only 2 meals a day. The first meal should be after 12 p.m. And also we will be having honey with pepper and neem leaves or bilva leaves. So these are certain guidelines which will orient ourselves to align ourselves to the ultimate possibility. If you want to know more details about Mahashivratri sadhana, you can go through the website, the link provided in the comment section, which will help you to follow and you can take up this Mahashivratri sadhana. So we have the 7-day and 3-day sadhana left, so you can take up those 2.
Julie has asked, can you talk about what are the rules when we wear Rudraksh?
As you know, Rudraksh is a seed of a tree which has a unique quality to imbibe the vibration around. So Rudraksh is also is looked upon as a symbol for an inner growth. So there are a lot of queries, doubts whether we can wear Rudraksh. Only ascetic people who are in the path of the ascetic life, sages, saints, only they have to wear, or people in the normal life also can wear. Definitely people in the Grihastha path also wear. There are certain types of Rudraksh that people in the Grihastha path of life can wear. It's a supportive system. It acts like a cocoon of your own vibration. It ensures that the outside vibration will not disturb you in a certain way. This also helps you as a support system for your spiritual growth. Everyone can wear Rudraksh. Both men and women can Rudraksh. There is a misconception that only men can wear Rudraksh and women cannot wear Rudraksh. And people in the family path of life should not wear Rudraksh. There is no such thing. Everyone can wear Rudraksh. This is basically looked as a tool for the inner growth. And it has no connection to a religion or any system as such. It's basically a science which helps us to take this inward step within one's life. So Rudraksh, we have to protect in a certain way. I think if you register for this Rudraksh Diksha, they will be guiding you with how to process the Rudraksh and how to maintain. There are certain guidelines which if you can follow will help you to keep this Rudraksh with you. Yes.
And next question is, my Shivanga date on 5 and 6. Mahashivratri is on 11. How can I participate in both?
So for Shivanga, you have to register with the Shivanga team and they'll be guiding you. And for Mahashivratri, but for Shivanga, you have to register before, and I hope you might have registered because it's a 40-day sadhana. Shivanga is a 42-day sadhana that's already started. But if you want to trek the Vellingri mountain, you can check with the Shivanga team, they will help you. And regarding Mahashivratri, as I already said, we have this opportunity to attend the event on the day of Mahashivratri from the evening 6 p.m. to the next day morning 6 a.m. But because of the COVID restrictions, we have received guidelines from the local district administration that everyone who want to participate have to register online beforehand, and they have to take the COVID test when they come for the event. Now also one more thing is that you have to come before 3 p.m. for the event because the event is not open to public. And we are also publicizing about watching the Mahashivratri online, basically to stay home and to stay safe. Because if lakhs and lakhs of people come for the event, it won't be possible, and even the government officials will not allow us to conduct the event. So if you are interested to come and participate live on the day of Mahashivratri, you register online and you ensure you take the COVID test at least 96 hours from the Mahashivratri day, and you bring the COVID test when you come for the event, and ensure that you come at least 3 p.m. before 3 p.m. And this year we are not in a position to provide stay during the event, so we recommend you to book stay in Coimbatore city, and you can come for the event before 3 p.m. And also we will not be in a position to go in between. You have to stay for the entire duration of the event, and once the event finishes, you can go back to Coimbatore city. Yes.
Is Grace of Yoga and Buddha Shuddhi program are one and the same?
No, the Grace of Yoga and Bhuta Shuddhi are two different programs as such. The Bhuta Shuddhi program is a practice that you learn and you do it regularly on a regular basis. But in Grace of Yoga, we will be participating in an event called as Panchabhuta Kriya, where the 5 fundamental elements have been offered to Dhyan Linga in presence of Sadhguru, and Sadhguru will be giving us certain guidelines to go through the process. So to participate in Grace of Yoga, you don't have to learn any practice as such. This is a certain ritual that we do And to be part of that ritual will help us to cleanse our five and sense five elements, which we say as the Panchabhuta Kriya. So these are two different programs, and this Grace of Yoga is specially conducted during the Mahashivratri day, so that it will help us to enhance our perception and will also purify the five elements within the system, within our system. So it's nice and wonderful to be a part of this webinar, Shiva, the Ultimate Outlaw. As I already said, this event, this night, Mahashivratri night, is a tremendous possibility for one's self to experience that dimension which is beyond physical. We welcome you all for the Mahashivratri. Thank you.
you.